Still filing in. So we also have some more people kind of filing in right now on Zoom. So we're just going to take a few moments just to let some more people come in, and we'll be beginning in just a few minutes. Thank you.
So you might mute it.
Good evening, everyone. Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the last CEC meeting of the 2023-2024 school year. We're happy you're here with us in person and online on Zoom. So we're going to begin our business meeting here. Do we have a calling to order? Do we have a motion to begin the meeting?
Motion.
Amy, seconded by Spira. Okay, so I'll commence with the roll call of the council. Jay, myself, here in person. Randy, here in person. Lakeisha,
Here virtual.
Lakeisha's here virtually. Espira, here in person. Amy, here in person. Nadia,
Present.
present virtually. Dawn, here in person. Petra, here in person. Priscilla,
Here virtual. Here virtual.
Priscilla's here virtually. Max, I know
Present.
Max, present virtually, and Nathan here in person. Okay, again, welcome to the June business meeting of Community Education Council 21. We're excited to be here at PS 101, hosted by Principal Carl and the 101 family. Thanks so much for having us here. We're going to begin with our old business review of May's minutes and absences. The minutes from last month were sent to the council members in advance of this evening's meetings. Are there any questions or concerns about the minutes from the May meeting? Okay, see none. Absences. Just a quick synopsis. Lakeisha had informed us of an appointment that conflicted last month. Priscilla advised us in advance of a medical reason that prevented her from attending, and Max advised that he had not received the email notice that was sent to members. So, is everybody okay if we vote on approving the minutes and absences together with one vote? Everybody okay with that? Okay, so, we can commence to the vote. Actually, we're gonna do that in new business. So, so just moving over to the reports from our council members first. Just a reminder to all our council members that we always put in our activity reports and our reimbursement requests by the 5th of the following month, so that'd be the 5th of July. Given the 4th of July holiday, the end of school, like we just asked that you send all of that to our administrative assistant Steve by the end of this month. So if you could do that by the end of this month, that would be great. At this point, we'd like to allow the council members to report on any of their activities around the district since we last met. Does anybody know? That's great.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. This past month, we actually had a lot of activities for my Verrazano School. One's CEC21 and one's duty. IS228, they had 2 amazing performances with their musical theater program, their dance, and also the cheerleading squad have done a phenomenal performance with their, I guess, collab with the NIA. For Rudy, they did a beautiful performance with a remake of Back to the Future, and PS215 did a number for the Little Mermaid. We also had a wonderful carnival, 2-day carnival for all of our seniors and all the kids in our school, just to kind of have the end of the school year a little bit more. And that's it.
Good evening, everybody. I attended PS 100 Blue Day celebration. It was marvelous. The kids had a wonderful performance. It was from the past to the present, disco music, correct. They had an exhibit. It was very informative. Thank you.
Is there anyone else from the council? Amy?
Good evening, everyone. Welcome. I just want to share that I visited school for PS95. We didn't have to attend the basic end of the year celebration, so I got invited, and all the kids, they put out their hard work, standing and singing for the whole show. So I was so lucky that I got to see all the kids for that efforts. And also I just attended the graduation for my own kid, 5th grade, stepping up. And today I attended the kindergarten graduation, so they are the sweetest one, as always. So congrats to all the kids that's graduating, and I wish everybody have a great summer, okay?
Anyone else? Randy?
I attended King Sora's Talent Show, and that we have some very talented kids. I also attended the celebration, of Flow. It was beautifully put together by, District 21's, superintendent's office and principals and the community, I guess, the whole thing, the anthem was beautiful. I also attended Carnival of Child, I'm teenage, I was 77 and Child. I'm sure there's more that I'm forgetting, but I love the District 21 schools, teachers, staff, principals, administrators, everyone.
Thank you, Randy, Amy, Petra, Asfira. I'll just give mine quickly. There are some professional development sessions available for CEC members late last month. One was about bias awareness, one about parliamentary procedures. I got to attend the PSI S226 spring concert on the 24th of May. On May 30th, there's a wonderful event, being there for the groundbreaking of the Dewey Middle School Annex. Getting to be there to just to see what's going to, become on that vacant lot, and that progress was starting to take shape. Was really meaningful, and looking forward to a new school in just over 2 years in District 21. Also, our CEC21 legislative breakfast. We brought it back for the first time since before the pandemic. We did that on the 31st of May. Thank you, everyone who joined us for that. So we're already thinking ahead to next year and how to do it, when to do it, where to do it, and we're all going to be looking forward to seeing you there again next year. As Randy mentioned, the Celebration of Life event for Flow was extremely meaningful this past Saturday. Thank you to, I want to say it's just an amazing job by all the people from across District 21 who put that together. And this morning we had our District 21 DLT meeting, as we always do. So moving on to new business, we're going to vote on the approval of our June minutes and absences as one vote. So I will begin myself. I vote yes. Randy?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Remove main minutes. Randy says votes yes. Lakeisha?
Yes.
Yes, and just to clarify, Lakeisha actually joined us last month. She was virtual. Esfira? Yes. Liz is no longer with the council. She resigned as of last month. Amy? Yes. Nadia?
Yes.
Yes. Dawn? Petra? Yes. Priscilla?
Yes. Yes.
Priscilla votes yes. Max?
Yes.
Yes. And Maypay? Yes. Okay, now we're going to move on with the review of a resolution that we're bringing forth this month. It's in support of amending the 2024-2025 New York City school calendar to eliminate a one-day week on December 23rd before winter break. I think it's important, especially based on where we were, who we were inspired to write this resolution from, that I just read through it quickly. So here is the resolution. Whereas New York State law requires that school districts remain in session for at least 180 days or risk losing state funding, and whereas up to 4 days in which students do not attend school, but New York City Public Schools educational staff are present in schools for administrative, clerical, or conferencing days may be counted toward the state requirement of 180 days in session. And whereas New York City Public Schools post-pandemic school calendars have replaced snow days with virtual learning days in the event of weather-related school closures, thus eliminating the possibility of scheduled instructional days being canceled. And whereas on June 26, 2023, New York City Department of Ed released an amended 23-24 school calendar, adding 4 additional holidays: the day after Easter, last 2 days of Passover, Eid al-Adha, which educators and families had advocated for when the previously released calendar had not included them. And whereas on June 26, 2023, the Department of Education also released the 24-25 and 25-26 school calendars. Whereas for the 5 most recent school calendars, the Department of Education has released, so that goes from 21/22 through 25-26, all of which have replaced snow days with virtual learning days, all total less than 180 instructional days, with as few as 176 in 21-22, and utilized conferencing days to meet the state requirement of 180 days in session. And whereas the 24-25 school calendar currently has a 1-day school week scheduled for Monday, December 23rd, 2024, before the 9-day winter break begins on December 24th, 2024. And whereas the 19/20 school calendar initially included a 1-day school week scheduled for Monday, December 23rd, the Department of Education eliminated that instructional day and added it to the winter break on September 24th, 2019, following more than 4 months of advocacy from educators and families to amend the school calendar. Whereas the last 5 times in which December 23rd fell on Monday, 1991, 1996, 2002, 2013, 2019, the last day of school before the winter break was Friday, December 20th, with Monday, December 23rd being a day off that was part of the winter break. And whereas, following the logical and reasonable historical precedent, the New York City Department of Education has established of December 23rd being part of winter break in years in which the date falls on a Monday, amending the 2024-25 school calendar to convert December 23rd, 2024 to a day off will ensure the same number of student instructional days as the 22-23 school calendar, 1 more student instructional day than the 25-26 school calendar, and the state requirement of 180 days in session will be exceeded with 4 scheduled conferencing days. And whereas, as reported in May 28th, 2024 Chalkbeat New York article, District 21's own Isaac Regnier, a 7th grader at Cethlo IS 96, his efforts to eliminate a 1-day school week scheduled for Monday, December 23rd, 2024, have included calls and emails from Mayor Eric Adams and Schools Chancellor David Banks, as well as starting a petition to have the date incorporated into the winter break. And whereas Isaac's efforts have inspired over 6,500 concerned New Yorkers to sign his petition and were the inspiration and impetus for this Community Education Council District 21 resolution. Therefore, be it resolved that Community Educational District 21 urges the DOE to amend the 2024-2025 New York City calendar to eliminate the 1-day school week scheduled for Monday, December 23rd, 2024, before the winter break. And therefore, be it resolved that Community Education Council District 21 urges the DOE, sorry, that was a repeat. So that is the resolution. We're just asking that the December 23rd, as has been done in previous years, as Isaac, the 7th grader from Cethlo, has been advocating for, have that incorporated into the winter break. So we will be voting on this, and there will be public comment available in our calendar meeting following the business meeting when we get to that point on the agenda. Are there any comments from the council at this point? No. Any comments? And again, thank you, Isaac, for your efforts. Okay, so now we're going to move on with the treasurer's report from our treasurer's here.
Hello again. So we have a remaining balance of $8,900 for the past month's expenditures. And the total spent over the course of the entire year was about $15,000.
Thank you, Ms. Mira. And the last item on new business is our superintendent evaluation, which is one of the things that specifically CECs are tasked with. So we will be conducting that, this is for our council, before the end of the school year. We will be setting up a virtual meeting to do that. We will go through, there's a standard process to do it, and we'll go through the evaluation together. So we can discuss as the meeting ends some prospective dates, and we will be setting that up. And with that, is there a motion from the council to adjourn the June 24 business meeting? Motion from Petra and seconded by Randy. Okay, so that adjourns our business meeting. We're just gonna take 2 minutes. Our calendar meeting starts at 6 p.m. If anybody wants some refreshments, they are in the back. Thank you for everyone joining us online virtually. And like we always like to check with this with our virtual attendees. Is our technical situation good right now? Are you hearing us well? Can anyone drop that in the chat? Just want to make sure we're not forgetting about you. Okay, thank you, Letitia from the council, and some other guests are telling us that we are good on the technical side. Okay, great. And this the moment everyone here in person is settling in for our calendar meeting. Okay, I'm gonna call calendar meeting to order. Good evening. Is there a motion from the council to begin the June 2024 calendar meeting of District 21? Aspira, seconded by Petra. Gonna take roll call. Jay, myself, here in person. Randy, here in person. Lakeisha,
Here virtual.
here virtual. Aspira, here in person. Amy, here in person. Nadia,
Present.
present virtually. Dawn, here in person. Petra, here in person. Priscilla,
Virtual here.
here virtually. Max, Max is here virtually. I hear him. May Payne, here in person. We do have a quorum in person, so we can proceed with business at our calendar meeting. I'd like to welcome everyone here to the June 2024 calendar meeting for CEC21. As always, we're glad to be joined by Superintendent Demola. We thank Principal Pearl and his staff for hosting us here at PS1 101. Thanks to everyone, parent coordinator, PTA, assistant principal, everyone for hosting us, making this a great event tonight. Thank you to all the principals, assistant principals, teachers, parent coordinators, support staff, students, and families who are joining us here in person or virtually on Zoom. We'd like to acknowledge Anthony Aguilar, our DOE FACE governance team specialist, for his continued support. Thank you to our partners. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you to our partners in organized labor, including our district UFC rep, Adam Shapiro, and our CEC21 administrative assistant. Thank you, as always, Steve Washington. Thank you. All right, we ask that during any discussions throughout the night, we focus on issues and ideas, not people. So we maintain an environment where everyone is comfortable sharing their opinions and everyone feels safe to discuss things in a comfortable way. Among the council members, as always, we speak one at a time. For the public comment portion, that will come later, both when we consider our vote, before we vote on our resolution, as well as the general public comment section at the end of the meeting. You can request up to 2 minutes. There is a sign-in sheet at the back when you came in. You could have signed up there. You can always sign in back there at this point if you'd like to speak. You can also just raise your hand. Same online. Those joining us virtually, you can raise your hand when you get to those portions of the meeting, or you can drop it in the chat. You can drop your question in the chat. And again, we just want to have a nice, pleasant atmosphere here for everyone to discuss whatever they would choose to discuss. Now we will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a student here who would like to lead us in the pledge? Would you like to lead us in the pledge, Joey? Okay, everyone, we're going to rise to the pledge. We're going to give Joey a moment to wash down a cookie. The flag is here to the left.
No,
Just the pledge. Here you go. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That was great, Joey. Thank you. Taking care of a quick technical issue for our folks here joining us on Zoom. Okay, so moving along, we will commence with our superintendent's report from Superintendent DeMola.
Well, that was quick. Good evening, everyone. Happy June. It's great to be here. And I love that there are so many of you here in person, and hello, everybody who is here virtually. I know you're all here because I'm doing contracts for excellence tonight, and you wait all year for it. I know, I'm very excited as well. But before I jump into my presentation, and Steve, if we can bring that up, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my week, and it's only Wednesday. So on Monday, I had the opportunity with the other superintendents of New York City and senior leadership and two principals from the district to visit the NOVA exhibit down on Wall Street, which is an exhibit educating about the events of October 7th at a music festival in Israel. And then yesterday, I spent the day at the Islamic Center in Upper Manhattan with my fellow superintendents and senior leadership, and we're joined by some principals in the afternoon. And without going into graphic detail or deep discussion about everything, the one thing I walked away from the past 2 days with, and I've been reflecting on it ever since, is how very important our calling as educators and as community are, because it is here in our schools that we will teach our students the skills necessary to learn how to think independently and learn how to work through these very complex problems of society and these very complex disagreements that lead to violence and loss of life and destruction. I don't have the answer. I wish I did. But what I can do is commit to our community that we will continue to voice and raise expectations that here in District 21, we will continue to educate ourselves as educators, educate our community and educate our students in all sides of every issue, and give our children the skills necessary to engage in discourse that is respectful. We will not tolerate hate of any kind or discrimination of any kind for any group of people. We do a great job of it here in District 21, and I pledge to continue leading in a way that makes that the expectation. And I thank you all for your support for that now, always, and going forward. So I wanted to start by saying that tonight before I got into the excitement of the fiscal year 2025 C4E and class size issues, just because it's that important. And when our kids make mistakes, and they will say and do things that doesn't really align to our vision, we will hold them accountable and we will support them in a restorative way because they are children and they are learning. And we will continue as the adults in their lives set the example. so all of our schools remain a safe place for everyone. So, you know, thank you for listening to me. I know this has been my message month after month lately, but this week really reinforced to me the importance of why it is so necessary for us to do the difficult work that we do and have the patience and have the empathy. And we have to keep teaching empathy, because it's through empathy and through critical thinking that someday these problems will be solved. So with that being said, let's move on to what you're really here for this evening. Fiscal year 2025 contract for excellence and class size engagement conversation. So Steve, can we go to the next slide? Thank you. So I'm not going to read the slides to you in detail, but this first slide really talks about the legislation. It was established in back in 2007 and 8, requiring that aid be used for specific restricted purposes to really engage our students with the greatest need. That includes, but aren't limited to, our students for whom English is a new language, students with disabilities, students living in poverty. In 2022, the legislation around C3E was updated to include making sure that the new legal requirements related to class size limits are funded in our schools. So, and a little later in this, we'll talk about that plan and how we're working on that in District 21. Next slide, please. So C3E funding needs to be spent on specific initiatives, programs for the school, increasing instructional time, so before, after, and weekend programs for our students, and summertime to extend the school day, time on task for our students. Model programs for our multilingual learners. An example is expanding bilingual resources. A lot of our dual language classes get funded with this funding. Full day pre-kindergarten and kindergarten classes. So we've added classes, we've added additional staff, we've built standalone pre-K centers, all to fund full day programs, which we know are so important to build the foundational skills of our students, both academically and social. Class size reduction, hiring teachers, paying the salaries for additional teachers, looking at how we can repurpose space to include, reduce class size. Teacher and principal quality initiatives, the creation of non-cash incentive programs for high-quality teachers to teach in high-needs areas. We are middle and high school restructuring to increase high-level courses like advanced placement courses in our schools and Regents courses in our schools. The commissioner of the state education department may authorize districts to implement experimental programs using C3E funding and offer grants for these purposes. And there is a link, and Steve, are you going to be posting this on CEC's website? So there is a link if you want to learn more about those programs. So the contract for excellence for fiscal year 2025, which begins on July 1st of 2025. It is increasing for the system $803 million for the entire system. I wish that was just for District 21, but sadly, it's for the entire system. But an additional $45 million will be allocated to support the weights as issued by the state education department, plus the school's capacity to meet state class size reduction targets this school year. And $183 million is embedded in fair student funding, which is the most flexible funding that principals have, that we used to call maintenance of effort, but this year's budget is specifically allocated in different lines for transparency, so school communities can see exactly the dollar value of this continuation of services funding, and help through the school leadership team and the elected constituencies support school budgets and alignment to school goals. Now, tonight we're here to inform the community and get feedback on the proposed allocation of the $803 million in C3. So it is proposed that the discretionary funding of $487 million to be allocated to the school via the contracts for excellence, SAM #5, school allocation memo #5, when I say SAM, and may be used for any eligible contract for excellence purposes. 45 million is earmarked for funding which should be used for school physical space and hiring to meet the class size targets. Principals are expected to work with their school leadership teams to plan for the use of C3 funding in alignment to the schools, to the program allocation allowable lines, in alignment to the school's comprehensive education plan always, and mandates around class size. And then there's targeted maintenance of effort for 316 million, the 183 for fair student funding, 87 million for integrated co-teaching classes, 30 million for our summer programs, 9 million for day pre-kindergarten, and 7 million for autism spectrum disorder classrooms. Those are our ASD classrooms in the system, for example, our NEST and Horizon programs. So this slide actually gives you the next slide gives you a chart on the dollar amounts proposed for the citywide allocations of the almost $803 million, where we're proposing the percentages go, and you can see that the majority of funds are being proposed with discretionary funding at the school level for programs that align to what is allowable under this funding. Fair student funding that's targeted for specific purposes in schools. And if a school receives that funding, you can speak with the school leadership and FLPs around that. And then the ICT classes, new discretionary funding for high poverty and space to implement class size, our summer program, and I'm not going to read you the numbers, it's there. And again, this whole proposal will be posted on the CEC website if you want to study it a little further before giving public comments. So the next slide talks about where the proposal goes in District 21. Okay. Okay, hello? Yep, okay. So, District 21, if you could see, we kind of follow the same percentages, a little higher for our targeted schools than citywide, we're at 27% there. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. So what I want to call your attention to is the discretionary funded targeting for schools with high poverty and space to implement class size reduction. All of the schools in their budgets have received some additional fair student funding to help us meet our targets for next year, which I'm going to talk about in a moment, around reducing class size based upon the goals of the legislation. So our fair student funding for our district is proposed at almost $38.4 million. That's distributed across our schools and for our programs. So public comment for just the fair student funding formula is open until June 24th, and you can go to the next slide, and it'll show where to go for public comment if you have any thoughts or questions. Oh, yes, public comment for contracts for excellence. So now, part of this is the class size reduction plan for the city. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about how we're approaching it here in District 21. So we'll go to the next. Our class size reduction plan for the city. There's a draft plan that has been posted as part of the Contracts for Excellence public process. So when you go to that website, the city's entire plan will be there, and members of the public are able to give feedback through this process. New York City Public Schools are committed to work with the teachers and principals unions to finalize the plan under the law. These unions must sign off on the plan prior to it being finalized. And the plan outlines school level policies and central level policies. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what needs to happen and what we need to accomplish. So currently our class sizes are much higher than what is being proposed. The new law provides for classes K through 3 to have a maximum of 20 students, 4 through 8, a maximum of 23 students, 9 through 12, 25 students, and physical education or performing groups for all grades, a maximum of 40 students. Our reductions began this year. And the city was required to have 20% of its classes in compliance. The threshold increases 20% each year until full compliance in 27-28. For 24-25 as a system, we must ensure that 40% of our classes in across the city, when the state talks about a district, they talk about all of New York City, and then we are divided into our 32 community school districts and our high school districts. So the compliance is measured on our Beds Day, October 31st numbers. And for school year 23-24, District 21, had 31% of classrooms under the appropriate class size cap. New York City Public Schools as a whole had 42% of classes under the cap. So we've already met, if our numbers continue, we've already met next year's goal as a system. But to keep moving forward toward that 100% goal, all superintendencies next year are being asked to increase by 3% where we are. And for District 21, we're asking for every school to maintain the number of classes that they have already at cap and adding by 1, which will get us above the 3% and toward a 40% goal. So we've been working with our team today. We had like a beta meeting with 2 principals to go over our process and our numbers. On Friday, we are working, calling the principals to a meeting to talk about this as a whole. And then schools that need support in meeting the expectations for next year for the district will meet with members of my team where we'll really see what's possible and what's not in terms of space and staffing. It's going to be rough in District 21. We are overcrowded. We have new middle schools coming online in 2025, September 2025, with the opening of a brand new middle school at the former Bishop Carney campus. We have the Dewey extension opening, in 2026. But we need more elementary school seats as well. And we're in the process of doing some feasibility studies for extensions and looking for sites. And we are growing as a district. There is new construction everywhere in District 21 that is geared toward families. So, we have a lot of planning to do, and it is a heavy lift for us, to be quite honest, but we're committed to working together with our community and our elected officials and our union partners to make it happen without compromising the services and quality education and, opportunities we give our students across our schools. So I think I went over what our district is doing. Some of the ways schools across the city are looking at doing this is by rebalancing classes, look across classes to ensure that we have as much of a balance as possible and evening out classes within the caps where possible. Repurposing space within the schools, and principals are working really diligently to see where that's possible. Maximizing teacher programming, so we looking at making sure all teachers are teaching full programs, maximizing and making sure that they're within their contractual limits. Using as much of the space and buildings for instructional purposes as possible. Reallocating funding, looking at students other than personnel services and other programming to hire more teachers. Looking at all individuals that work in schools with valid teacher licenses to see if we can use them as teachers in additional classes or settings. This is more for middle school and high schools, adding a 6th period and using funding to pay teachers for additional programs, teaching an additional section, multi-session programming in the middle and high schools. For co-located schools of the same levels, looking at opportunities to combine classes across schools, or in our high schools and some middle schools across the city, they're looking at virtual programming options. So there's a lot of work to be done, and we're looking creatively at seeing what that looks like. So the class size reduction plan, for us, and go to this next page, which is just a summary of the draft class size plan. It basically incorporates everything that I've just spoken about. And then the final slide here is public comment for class size reduction. If you have any thoughts, ideas, or feedback, it is the same as the secret on June 24th, and the feedback can be given to classsize@schools.nyc.gov. And again, this whole proposal will be posted on the CEC website for you to dig in deeper if you choose to, and provide public comment. So thank you for listening to the presentation. I appreciate you coming out to hear this year after year, and always willing to partner with anybody who has some thoughtful ideas on how we can do this better in service of our students and families. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent Devon, for the super presentation. Just gonna skip around here a little bit on our agenda. We're always aware of and want to respect the time of our elected representatives. So we're joined by some here tonight. Council member Susan Joao is here. Would you like to say a word?
Thank you. Thank you, President. I said this is a high-paid job with all the zeros. And also I want to thank our Superintendent Diomola. She, every time I call, she reacts. And she talk about what she feel after she go to the museum. And also I feel like I'm the elected official. And also I'm a mother of 2 young kids. I think the school, there's no tolerance about hate. That's the reason I find resources for District 20 and District 21 to have the Stop Hate workshop in every single school this year. The society one group against another, or one kids against another kids, it pains me so personally because I'm Asian. A lot of time, a lot of Asian people in the street be called to go back to China. And also seniors in the park experience that. So for me, it's personal, we have to address the hate issue. And also, this is number one thing I want to talk about. Number two is this year, every single school apply funding from me. I want to make sure every single one gets the funding because I believe we cannot shortchange our kids. No matter what school, what grades, every kid deserves the best education because they are our future. We have to invest them. We have to. This is our future. We have to invest them. The third thing. Thank you. The third thing I want to talk about is I am a strong voice fight to get 3K, 2K, 3K. Mayor want to cut the budget that part. I'm not agree, and I attend all the rallies, speak up, and send letters to mayor. We cannot cut any funding for our education. This is no. And also, we have to make sure that every child education, we have the funding and the resources to provide to every single family. Our kids deserve the best education. And I'm a mother of two, education is always on top of my issue. And thank you, all the parents and also CEC members, and thank you all the hard work you guys do and bring to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember. And we're also joined by Larry Heath from Councilman Colton's Assemblyman. So we're on to the Assembly, State Assemblyman Colton's office.
Thank you very much. Thank you, President Brown, and thank you, Superintendent and our wonderful council. And on behalf of Assemblyman Bill Colton, and I want to thank everybody for sending your kids to our wonderful schools. And as you all probably know, that Assemblyman Colton had been a public school teacher before he was elected into New York State Assembly. It is always been a strong supporter and one of the loudest voices for education, public schools in New York City. So unfortunately, he can't make it today. He sent me, and I hope I can represent him the best that I can. The only thing I can share with you is education changed my life. My grandparents couldn't even write their names. My parents never graduated from high school. Education changed my life. And I'm sure with excellent elected officials like our council members who went on with our excellent leadership here, and education will change all your children's lives. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Larry. Okay, and I just want to also acknowledge Sonjay Cephas, representative from Councilmember Brannan's office. I think Sonjay left. She was here earlier and she brought some certificates. So she brought some certificates that will be given out to some of the folks here who are sadly leaving District 21 and moving on to the new phase in their life. We'd also like to recognize the Honorable Judge Brian Gottlieb.
Thank you. Now, a long time ago, I learned 4 very key words about public speaking: be brief and be seated. So I plan on keeping with that motto. First, I'd like to thank Superintendent Demola, all of your staff, and the CEC for all the work that you do. As a former school board member here in District 21, I know how difficult and crazy it is and can be. And also thank you to all parents and teachers, and congratulations to everyone who is leaving us. I didn't sign any order saying that you can go. Permission is denied. No, I shouldn't joke about that. Office of Court Administration, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. But with all seriousness, thank you for everything that you do. At the start of the school year, I made an announcement as far as working with my colleagues to show kids a different viewpoint of the courthouse. Meaning to have kids come into the courthouse and see what it is to be a judge, see what it is to be a lawyer, see what it is to be part of the family, if you will. Because what you see on TV, as the parents will know, it's all scripted, it's all fake, it's all made for entertainment. What's going on in the courthouse is real life. And I'm very happy to say that my colleagues and I hosted 2 schools this year, CEC21 and Kingsborough. I'm looking forward to doing more moving forward. Sometimes it's a slow process because we have to go up the chain of command to get approval. So it doesn't come as quickly as we'd like it to be. But, typically what the kids get and what they do, they come in, they get a tour of the building, they see every aspect of the courthouse. They sit in the different courtrooms, hear what's going on with different cases. When they're in my courtroom, we do a mock trial with the kids so they get the case of what it's about. Plus, I have them come up and stand with me at the bench so they can look from my viewpoint at the courtroom as opposed to always looking up at the judge. Because it's important to say, hey, you can work hard, it's not going to be easy, it's not going to drop in your lap. But if you work hard and you focus yourself, anything is possible. Why can't you be a judge? Why can't you be a court attorney or an interpreter or anything else that's in the courthouse? There's more to being in the courthouse than just being a judge or a lawyer. So part of it is trying to teach kids exactly that there's more to it than just those 1 or 2 positions. So I have a great deal of fun with it because after we do the tour and the mock trial, we sit down, we have lunch, we talk about it. And they meet the court officers, the interpreters, the court reporters, the clerks. They get a taste of it and the flavor to say, hey, maybe this is a career, something that I can go into. So it's something that I'm very happy to do. We shared some pictures with everyone. I was just showing them. So we're looking forward to doing more and have a great summer.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I was just sharing with my fellow council member and the superintendent how the Judge Gottlieb will share with me. He'll text me photos of the Kingsborough students, the 209 students in the courtroom trying on the robe. So it's really great to see. And I know that's not the last of it. I know he's still working on trying to set up more of these for next school year, and we're looking forward to it.
I need people to get in touch with me early, then we go up the chain of command.
Absolutely, we're looking forward to it. And I think we are still joined online by representatives from Senator Ewen Chu's office, Lenny Mark. Lenny, are you with us?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Good,
gonna hold this
good
up
evening,
to
everybody.
I'm gonna hold my mic up to our camera speaker here, and you can begin.
Good evening, everybody. I'm going to be brief. I know it's the last meeting of the school year, and you guys have a lot of business, so I'm not going to keep you from it. Thank you very much to all of the teachers, the staff, the administration, the CEC members for all you've done to get us to this point. We know it's not easy, but we want to say thank you. Quick legislative update from the senator. The senator regrets that she wasn't able to make it in person, but session just ended last Friday. It was a quick rush, so we're still getting reports on bills that have passed, but the senator asked me to share a legislative update. Your safety is important to her, and one of the things that she had been championing this legislative session is her e-bike, e-scooter package, which was to establish safety standards for lithium-ion batteries in these devices to prevent fires, but also for their operation. A reckless use of these devices puts our children at risk, puts our seniors at risk, and everybody at risk. And one of the legislative accomplishments on that end is that we were able to get, the Senate was able to pass the bills that require that at the time of sale, these users are going to be provided with safety operation manuals. And in addition to that, there's going to be a sticker on the device that explicitly says, this is not allowed to be operated on a sidewalk. Which is the #1 complaint that we get. I'll have more of them for future meetings, and please join our email list. I'll drop the address where you can email us in the chat. Thank you very much and have a great and safe summer.
Thank you, Lenny, and thank you for the second. Yeah, and following that from Lenny from Senator Yuanchu's office, or the superintendent would like to just add something.
So I really appreciate our elected officials being with us tonight, especially those that represent us in the state. And I'm not sure if you're aware yet, but you will be soon as school communities start reaching out to you. Our Empire After School grants that were funded by the state are sunsetting at the end of this year and being replaced by a new grant from the state funding stream, the LEAP. And two of our biggest after-school providers, NIA and the Federation of Italian American Organizations, put proposals in for our schools, and our proposals were approved, but unfunded in the first round of funding. So we have about 8 schools that will lose their elementary school and 1 middle school's after-school programming that were funded, and we're asking for your help. We as a community, rely on these after-school programs to support our families and our students, and the schools cannot make up the difference independently. And these services, if we put them out there for paid services, which some of the districts can do, would cost each family for each student $3,300 for the year. That's an exorbitant cost for our families, especially if they're not expecting it, and rely on these programs to help them manage their employment and services and supports that their children need. So we're asking you to consider District 21 and reconsider funding our LEAP proposals for the upcoming school year. Thank you.
Okay, may I quickly add?
Yeah, hold on, we're gonna go back to Lenny from Senator Yuanchu's office to respond.
Appreciate you mentioning that. I actually wanted to give a quick update. We have been engaging with OCFS, who is the administrative agency for the state for this program. We've been working with them to identify why there hasn't been funding. There's been an RFP process that is supposed to announce funding for the programs, but we did hear about this. We've been engaging with them to try to find out why that wasn't and see how we can get funding restored for these programs. It is absolutely one of the most important programs because it would be devastating to the number of seats that the district would lose for after school. So appreciate you bringing that up. We are working on it. At the moment, I just didn't have an update to share. But yes, we are working on it. We're aware of it. And hopefully, I'm hoping we'll have good news. It's just right now it is too soon to tell, but we are working with them to try to get that funding restored for those programs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay, and again, we kind of jumped around there a little bit because again, we're always mindful of the time of our elected representatives and people from their offices who come here to speak on their behalf. So thank you again to all our elected reps and their representatives who joined us tonight. So we're going to move on to the next part in our agenda, which was the consideration and voting of the resolution that we read at our business calendar meeting. Just going to drop in the chat right now a link to the article that kind of touched off at least why we here in CEC were aware of this in the first place. And again, we thank Isaac, 7th grader from Sethlo, who his efforts have garnered a lot of attention. And I will also drop in a link to his petition in the chat, which in our resolution, we cite that as of a date last week, he had received over 6,500 signatures, and he's closing in on 7,500 signatures on his petition right now, which that is his goal. So it'd be nice to actually see us surpass that and set a new goal. So I'm just going to drop that in the chat for our virtual attendees. You can feel free to read the article and then follow up with the petition if you'd like to sign. And so now we will commence with the portion of considering the resolution in support of amending the 24-25 New York City school calendar to eliminate a one-day week on December 23rd before winter break. Public comment. Do we have anyone here in person who would like to speak about the resolution that we read?
We actually have Isaac watching.
Yep, so, okay, nobody here in person, so now we're going to go remotely, to the virtual crowd. We have Isaac's, I believe that's Isaac's dad, on and saying Isaac is here and watching. Anybody at all online, would anybody like to comment? Take your 2 minutes to speak. We do have someone here in person who would like to speak. Yeah, well, and then following this, public comments are here in person, we'll hear from Isaac himself, virtually.
Good evening. My name is Boyd Credible. I'm GO insurance from CEC21, issue 21. Very simple, very short. When kids request something and it doesn't cost as much, you should do it.
Thank you. Thank you for your comment. And now, Isaac, if you're with us and you'd like to speak, the floor is yours.
Hi, so my name is Isaac, and I'm a 7th grader at Sethwell. And I did a petition so I can convince the government to change the dates of Christmas break, because we get a 1-day week of school, which is so silly and dumb. And it's from December 24th to January 1st, and it starts on a Tuesday. And I swear the attendance will be low on Monday, December 23rd, and not a lot of teachers will be in the building. So, yeah, that's why I did a petition, and I think it should be changed. And can you please vote in the favor of the resolution?
Yes, we're gonna keep things moving in a minute. So if you don't know, in just a few minutes, Isaac, what the result of our vote is. I can't
Thank
handicap
you.
it, but I think it looks good.
I could see myself.
Yeah, we all see you online, and we have a really large auditorium here full of people who just heard you speak and see you as well, Isaac. And I think we have your Principal Verrazano here, who would also like to say something.
Isaac, I just wanted to let you know how proud I am of you and your crusade, your leadership, using your voice. So excited by your crusade, and I'm advocating with my boss to see how we can do this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to say that Isaac, I don't know if you can see me, but you see me.
Verrazano.
But Isaac, I am so very proud of you for your leadership and using your voice. And I want to let you all know about Isaac, that no one knows calendars better than Isaac. If you know something about Isaac, he will be able to tell you your birthday. He will be able to tell you the day of the week that you were born if you give him your birthday and the year. There is not one person on this planet. There is not one person on this planet that knows calendars better than Isaac, and so therefore my vote is with Isaac because he certainly knows them. And once again, Isaac, I am so very proud of you for using your voice and for sharing your knowledge with all of us. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Principal Verrazano, and Superintendent Demola. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to move forward with the vote. Oh. So we have someone else who would like to speak, and it's good to hear from former president of CEC21, Anna Limbersky.
If Sharon will be smart enough,
The money that he can save for that day, he can put it back into the school. That's all.
Okay, I think that was another comment in support. Okay, so if there are no other comments, and just checking online, just making sure there's no other comments being requested online, so we can commence with the vote. So the vote on the resolution to amend the calendar for the upcoming school year. So we eliminate the one-day week on December 23rd before winter break begins. So I will kick off the voting myself. Yes. Randy? Yes. Lakeisha?
Yes.
Yes. Asphira? Yes. Amy? Yes. Nadia?
Yes.
Nadia votes yes. Dawn? Yes. Petra?
Yeah.
Yes. Priscilla?
Yes.
Yes. Max? You're there virtually, Max? Okay, I don't hear Max. Okay, May Payne? Yes. So of everyone who's here voting, it is unanimous. CEC21 does vote in support of amending the calendar. Thank you, Isaac, for your efforts and for bringing this to our attention, and we look forward to congratulating you on more than just this resolution passing.
Thank you.
So now, thank you, Isaac. Okay, so now we're, okay, so Max did actually cast his vote as yes, so it was completely unanimous from the council. Okay, so now we're gonna move ahead with my president's report. So I just would like to say in advance of Father's Day, this coming weekend, I'd like to acknowledge all the dads out there and everyone who plays that role. Whether or not you are an active father or you play that role, or you're a single mom, thank you so much for all you do, and I hope you enjoy a very special day with your children that you care for, and it's relaxing, and that is well deserved. School will be closed coming up on this coming Monday, June 17th for Eid al-Adha. So all who observe Eid Mubarak. Also Wednesday, June 19th, 2 days later for Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth to all. Everyone's celebrating the holiday. I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and friends. And I'd like to just acknowledge our educators here who, since this day, and even before this day, I know from my kids, even before this became a federal holiday 3 years ago, for just ensuring that all students are aware of the significance of this day, what it means, what people have taken it to mean, what they use it for to celebrate and come together in community. So thank you all for doing that and making sure students know the history of this day and why it's important. Some other important updates on the school calendar coming up, June 26th, last day of school. So that's right around the corner. I know everyone's planning end of year events. I know there's a lot happening, even though it's the end of the school year and we're winding down in the classrooms. Thank you for all the work everyone's doing on that. July 2nd through August 16th, summer rising for our K-5 kids. The middle school kids will start also July 2nd, but they'll get out a week earlier on August 9th. The first day of school is September 5th. Also, we know, we spoke a lot about calendars here tonight. So the rest of this school year, it's basically almost done, but this school year, as well as next school year, which we hope to see amended slightly, and the following school year, the 25-26 school calendars, they're all up online, so you can find the following 2 years' school calendars up online. Also, just want to bring, 2 events that I referenced in my activity report earlier in the business meeting, that were just over a week apart. Getting to attend, myself, getting to attend and speak at the groundbreaking of the Dewey Middle School Annex, it was just really meaningful seeing that dirt lot and just seeing the renderings of what that's going to be, and knowing what's on the horizon. And then looking back at the celebration of life for Flo, and how impactful her life was to everyone who knew her. Just 2 very special moments for me and for everyone who was there. And thank you for everyone, again, who was involved in the organizing of the events for Flow. I know everyone around the district and her family really appreciated it, and it was very meaningful what you all did. June is Pride Month. There are amazing celebrations across Brooklyn. Rusa LGBTQ+, which is a group of Russian-speaking LGBTQ+ members from the Coney Island, Brighton Beach community, the Little Odessa area. So they had as they do every year, they had an event on Saturday, May 19th with a parade on the boardwalk. So that was a great event. Here in Southern Brooklyn, over in District 20 area, in Bay Ridge, they had the 3rd annual Gay Ridge Pride event on June 2nd, which was a great event. They just had the Brooklyn Twilight Pride Parade in Park Slope this past Saturday. And it's just great to see people celebrating and being able to be their authentic selves, which is something that, we're very lucky here in our district that, that's something that is just built into the DNA of District 21. It comes from the leadership. It comes from the Department of Education, where intolerance is not accepted. We accept everyone for who they are, our students, our staff, our faculty, everybody. And we just really appreciate that from everybody. And, it just allows everybody to feel safe and valued and, free to be themselves. So just moving right along, we're going to get to our presentation of awards. So we can kind of grab the stack of awards here. We're going to begin with our retirees. So we have some awards for folks who are moving on to that next phase in their life. Sad to see you go. And of course, we need to hear from the superintendent.
So apparently I can't shut up tonight, so I just want to say a couple of things before we give our awards, and acknowledge everyone who's dedicated their careers to education. I say it all the time. I'm going to close out the year by saying it. I am the luckiest superintendent in all of New York City. This is an amazing district filled with amazing people. Our families are phenomenal. Our kids are second to none. Our school leaders, our principals, our assistant principals, our teachers, our staffs, just inspire me and leave me awestruck day after day after day. This is not an easy time to be an educator in New York City, and every day you will just step up to the plate and hit it out of the park. Our partners in education, our elected officials support us more so. I hear stories from other superintendents. I've never experienced the conflict or the tensions with those who represent us here in 21. We truly are a very tight community. Our CEC, thank you. I know that you don't really get any rewards for doing this, but we appreciate you so much. And to the retirees, thank you. Words can never explain how impactful you have been on the countless numbers of students and families that you have worked with and influenced and impacted throughout your career. You deserve this next chapter of your life, and I wish you well in whatever you choose to do. Stay active, stay busy, and know that there are people out there in generations that, have a better life because of you and what you did. So whatever role you had in education, was amazing, and congratulations. You matter. And of course, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge my team. Deputy Superintendent Lynch is here. The amazing family. Tiffany Tomasello is here, but also Lisa Kiburi, Georgette Pesalante, and every member of Nicola's Vito, and every member of our team shows up every day in support of you and to make things better for our children and our families. So thank you.
Relax.
For making me look good. And again, I am the luckiest superintendent in New York City. And now, Jay, I'm going to be quiet for the rest of my talks. No, I can't buy it.
Fine. Here, let me give it
Stuck
to-
on my back.
Let me give it to Randy. There you go, back there. Okay, so with that, we're going to, you have some certificates. So we have Sonia DeFreitas. Sonia? Laura Bootman? Enjoy. Cynthia Russo. Cynthia Andruzzi. Joanne Alvarado. Flora Levin. Abby Martin. Laura First. Ardette Wedderburn. Jason Waldman. Suzanne Rivera. Marina Delphine.
I saw her, she's here.
Maria Delphine. Neil Wells Ernie. Jane Anastasio. Some of the teachers are principals. Nancy, thank you, sir. Okay, so I know everyone kind of said that, but everyone come on up. We just got some picture. We're gonna take a group photo. And we're gonna have you on the stage, and I'm gonna go just sit down. It gives everyone a good opportunity to give you a round of applause again.
Nancy.
All right, Bill, you got it. We need everybody closer up there. You guys want to just everyone just move closer?
We have superintendent. Come up a little bit. Thank you.
I'm not retired.
Everybody.
Hold this way. Hey, you gotta go in there. We away from more. Hurry up, Abby.
My knees aren't gonna hold much longer.
And move a little bit to the.
All right.
And smile.
1, 2, 3.
Someone should take a picture of us.
Good.
Oh, no way. Okay. I know, right?
So we need to provide teachers to take photos.
Okay, now we'd also like to recognize our PTA volunteers. So we have the PTA of PS90. We have a representative of PS90 PTA. Can everyone take a seat as we can enter the PTA certificates. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are not done. We have more honorees. We have our PTA honorees, so I ask everybody to have a seat, not to leave just yet. I'm watching. Thank you. Please allow our PTA leaders to be celebrating as well. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Again, PS 90, do we have anyone here from the PS 90 PTA? PS 95? Maybe 10 from CEC21 and President's County. IS 96, Setlo. Crystal Russo. PS 97. IS 98. DSIS 99. PS 100. PS 101. PS 121. PS 128. PS 153. PS 177. PS 188. PS 199. PS 209.
So Principal Barone couldn't be here, but they have a crossing guard, so thank you. Forgot to mention.
PS 212.
Violet is online.
No, I saw.
Oh, where'd she go?
She had to go probably.
Okay. I can give it to them on.
PS 215.
Yeah, too. I'll take it. Oh. Jake. She's also president. She's president.
So you have two.
Oh, yeah.
Say sign.
It's our very own Spira and Diane MacLeod, also on President's Council. PS216. PS225. PS226.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much. I'm virtual. Thank you.
Say thank you.
Awesome. Ashley Turner from PS226 is thanking and thank you, Ashley. Thank you very much. I have it, I will bring it to you. IS228.
I'll take it for that. I'll take it for it. Thank you.
IS238. IS239. PS253. And thank you, Jason, President who's online. IS281. IS288. IS303. IS329. Brooklyn Studio Secondary School. And Kingsborough. And before we move on, can we just have all the PTA members who are here come up? We can take a photo. Yeah, no more PTA.
I don't need to worry. I could just download.
Settle back down.
Still not done.
Still not done.
I don't have one left.
I thought that was it.
Thank you, everyone.
Not
Okay, we
done,
have
guys.
one more. One more left. Okay, we have two more left. So we have, from District 21 Office, Tiffany Tomasello. Thank you, Tiffany, very instrumental, let's get our legislative representative off the ground, if you sit license and we graduate. Thank you, Tiffany. And then the last one we have here is, so returning president of President's Council for District 21. We have a dedication for council and planning, as well as a certificate from CEC21. Randy has been on President's Council since what year?
I don't know.
2015, and what, how long have you been president? Most of that time? Okay. A long time. So obviously we work very closely with President's Council, extremely closely, because our first vice president, Randy, is the president of President's Council. Randy, thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do on President's Council. I know you have one more day officially until the elections take place tomorrow night. Thank you, Randy, for all your years on President's Council. Everybody appreciate that.
Randy.
Can you go around and have her from the other side?
Do you wanna come up here and do this one?
That's fine, that's it. You have to pose you.
Come on, Tiffany, let's get a picture with you and me and Jay.
You want to stop?
You wanna take it?
No, you can see. So, Aaron. You be silent. You be silent.
You forgot your certificates.
Let me just, before I like fall.
Doesn't want it. She doesn't want it. Okay. I'm slow, I'm old.
For Randy.
Tiffany, go back.
Certificates, you wanna give me all that again?
She's having a hard time working out the certificate holder.
Bravo.
I don't know, I'll figure it out. The school is literally like next door.
Okay, we're nearing the conclusion of tonight's meeting. So we're gonna do our, I gave my president's report, but, we usually do reports from our first VP and our second VP if they have anything to add. Randy, would you like to say something?
I just wanted to echo what Superintendent Demola said earlier about the, NIA and the, after-school programs. If you can, please reach out, principals, parents, teachers, everyone. The after-school programs are so important and we really need them funded. So if you can reach out to all our elected officials to help get funding for our schools and advocate for our schools. Parents work, teachers, your parents too, and even if you're not, you're still working. You need to make sure that there's somebody there for your children and that they're not middle schoolers, they're not outside the street, elementary school, that they're protected by people who love them and care for them. So please make sure that you advocate to your elected officials for funding.
Thank you, Randy. Lakeisha, our second vice president. Lakeisha, do you have any updates?
Yes, hi. Give me 1 second. I want to give some information from the borough president's office. I apologize. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Here we go. So there will be an upcoming community board swearing in ceremony on June 24th at 6:30. If anyone want to join there, it will be virtual on WebEx so that those can join to see the swearing in. Also upcoming, the Paramount and Movie Night in Brooklyn, hosted also by the borough president, starting June 7th, where they can watch a movie in the 5 boroughs, in four parks. For the first time ever, Coney Island, it will be on Coney Island Beach on selected Thursdays. We will send the schedule. Also, McCarran Park on selected Fridays, Prospect Park on selected Wednesdays, and Fort Greene Park on selected Thursdays. I also want to congratulate all the honorees and a special thank you to our superintendent for all her hard work and dedication. We definitely appreciate all that you do, and just again want to say thank you. That's all on my end.
Thank you, Lakeisha Barrett, our second vice president and one of our borough president appointees. Now just the report of committees for our council. We have a special education committee meeting scheduled for later this month. The chair of our special education committee had been doing the work on that, Liz Rodriguez-Perez, and she has left as of the end of last month. She left the council. We need to find a new chair for that committee. We also need to establish everything anew at our July meeting where we elect our officers again. We set all our committees up. So I don't think at the moment we'll be holding that meeting. That was going to be in 2 weeks. It was going to be a midday meeting, and it's also conflicting with several end-of-year events from schools around the district. So we will, I know Liz has offered help. Liz can actually still, as a public member, can be part of the committee, but the chair needs to be someone who is a council member from CEC21. So we're working that out, and we will send that out soon. I will say that we have set our meeting dates for July. So our next meeting will be July 17th. It will most likely be at Kingsborough at the Lafayette Complex, but we're still formalizing that and finalizing that, but we will have that out soon, the location of our July meeting. And then we have our meetings all the way through the dates, all the way through August of next summer set. So we will be sending that out soon to all our schools and asking what schools would like to host us throughout those next 14 months or so that we have all the way through next, the end of next summer. So we appreciate, as always, as PS 101 so graciously did tonight, all the schools who host us, we appreciate it. So we will be sending that out, and look for that, and feel free to let us know some of the months that you would like. We will have all the dates included in that so you can see what dates might possibly work if you would like to host one of our CEC21 meetings for the upcoming school year. Also, we're moving to public comment now. So I don't see anybody who signed in here in person who requested to comment. There is a section there. I'll just put it out there. Is anybody here who would like to comment? Okay, I don't see anybody. I don't see any hands. So we will throw it to our online audience. Is there anybody who would like to use the raise hand function? Okay, I see one already, and okay, so we have Jennifer Goddard. Jennifer, you can unmute, and you have 2 minutes.
I can unmute, but I can't video. Hi, thank you so much, everybody. That, with Isaac's resolution, you know, inspiring that resolution, thank you so much for passing it. At every, PTA meeting at Seth Low, I talk about, you know, advocacy and the benefits of it, and try to, you know, inspire the other parents to get involved, and to see one of the students at Seth Low just really leading the way in that, and modeling that for all of us is truly wonderful. So thank you so much for presenting that, and thank you so much for the recognition tonight. Sorry I couldn't be there, still stuck at work. So thank you so much, everybody, and thank you, Ms. Russo, for being there and accepting on my behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. We will get your certificate to you.
Thanks.
Principal Russo has it, so it's on the way.
And
Do
thank
we
you
have
so much,
any-
Randy. Bye-bye. Thank you, Randy, for everything. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Randy says thank you, Jennifer. Okay, do we have any other requests for public comment from our virtual crowd on Zoom? I don't see any raised hands. I don't see anything in the chat. Going once, going twice. Okay, so that is the end of our agenda for our calendar meeting for June 2024. Again, before we officially adjourn, I'd just like to again recognize all the retirees. Thank you so much for your time here in District 21, or wherever you began your career in the Department of Education. Best of luck for you in your future endeavors. Thank you to all our PTAs. Thank you to our outgoing President's Council President, Randy Garay. Thank you to Superintendent Demola, and thank you to everyone who's made this a really amazing school year, the 23-24 calendar year. You know, each year we kind of have a better year coming out of the pandemic. We had a rough few years there, and you know, every year it exceeds everyone's expectations. So we really appreciate everything you do for our students and our families. And with that, is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Spiro, and seconded by Randy. Thank you, everyone. We will have a location for our July 17th meeting shortly going in. Thank you.
Fabulous.
Yes.